Let's go ahead and take a deep dive into set 7 so you'll know absolutely everything you need to know to take over this set. All right, dates at the bottom, shout out to the League Partner Program. First and foremost, we're going to be looking at something that is ridiculous. All right, this happened in one of our videos. Bard is a champion that will probably get nerfed many times over. Not sure how Riot's going to balance this, but check out the shenanigans you can do in this set. 100% cost on the tier 5 champions. No matter what I do, we're re-rolling, getting crazy shenanigans. At the end, I just casually sell a 4 cost Hecarim. I think it's pretty hilarious, but I'm excited to run many shenanigans just like that this set. Let's jump on to the next thing. Augments are back. Rito was so happy with how they went last set that they incorporated them into this set as well. And I asked Riot during the preview where you got to ask all the devs questions, and their goal is not to get new players into the set, but the goal is to actually make the set the players from last set happy because there was so many. And you get 1 reroll on your augments all game. So if you get a super low roll, reroll it up, get 3 new augments, and be happy. Also, the tier 2 augments are now the most common out of any of them, which is pretty cool. Here's a sneak peek to new traits. Probably don't notice any of them, but this is a little dragon shenanigans, I'm pretty sure. That's a cool one to keep an eye of. We'll take a look at more of those later. But some item changes. Base AP up, AP growth down on Archangels. Omnivamp added to Bloodthirster, super cool. You can now put it on like mages and whatnot, which I actually like a lot. Starting mana, little down on blue buff, less armor on Bramble. Deathblade, little nerf there, and it's cute. They actually made the Dragon's Claw work better on dragons, which I think is actually pretty funny. More item changes. Changed Giant Slayer. I guess it was a little too strong last patch, except there's probably a lot of super tanky champs this game with all the dragons. Less armor pen on last Whisper. More AP on Amarellos. They did nerf the burn on that not too long ago last set. Rapid fire, little attack speed down. Omnivamp on Hestako as well. And I do like the new Hand of Justice. Alrighty. Nerf on Le Redemption. Sunfire, this is pretty cool. Refreshes the burn if no new targets are in range. Thought that was kind of awesome. Sad about the Spirit Visage nerf. I love that item. And Black Cleaver and Death Dance changed as well. All right. The Treasure Dragon. No more Raptors. So I think Raptors, I feel like no one ever died to them last set. I think it's cool that they took it out. And you can actually refresh these so many times. 1 gold to refresh. I've spent 30 gold looking through so many different Treasure Dragons. You can get like 3 Thieves Gloves. The majority, it's going to look something a little like this. More so with having more gold in here as well, which is pretty cool. Usually gives you 1 completed item, all that good stuff. You can even get Nico's Helps, or I guess Champion Duplicator is now what they're calling it this set. So keep an eye out for those if you want to greed it hard. All right, but moving into traits and whatnot. Astral. Every 5th shop has increased odds to show Astral champions and grants an Astral Orb. Your team gains bonus ability power. Is this really going to be like the new way to make gold through this set? Because you do get gold from these orbs, maybe even Astral champions as well. But notice how there's 3 tier 1 cost in here. I think that's ridiculous. We'll go over the champions later on, and we'll take a closer look at their abilities and whatnot. Moving on, Ragewing. Played a video on this already. It's been a super fun time. I like Siobhan a lot. A 10 cost dragon in the mix. But converts mana into rage. Attacks, generates 15 rage. After casting an ability, enrage for 4 seconds. Gain 30% attack speed, but gain rage. Oh, did I say that correctly? I don't know. You gain bonus stats while in rage. So it's interesting because you gain more mana per auto attack, but you can't gain mana while you're enraged. So I think you actually end up using abilities slower, but the Omnivamp that you have while you're enraged is so nice. All right. Whispers. Damage shrinks enemies, reducing their armor and magic resistance by 40% for 6 seconds. When they damage a shrunken enemy, Whispers gain stacking bonuses, AD and ability power. Okay, by the way, these numbers are going to be different from these numbers. Focus the ones on the right. Those are probably the most updated ones. But all these numbers are going to be changing so much throughout the set. More so just focus on what the actual abilities do, okay? Because that's what's going to be the main priority for this. Okay. I like how Pike is after the tier 4 8 cost dragon, but got to put the tier 5 behind. This is like technically a tier 4, it's just double cost. You'll see that down the road as well. Jade. Summon a movable Jade statue that grow in power each combat. Allies adjacent to the statue gain stacking attack speed and maximum health healing every 2 seconds. When a statue is destroyed, it deals 50% of its health as magic damage to nearby enemies. Summon movable Jades that grows in power each combat. Oh, okay. I wonder if you run this super early on, if it grows into like a massive beast. Who knows? But putting a 4 statues throughout the board, that's going to be interesting. Goes up to 12 units. By the way, if you're curious how the heck you're going to get 12, dragons have 3 of their trait, whatever it may be. So this dragon has 3 Jade involved. So you can actually get 1 statue by just putting in the dragon alone. I actually did that earlier today. Liked it a lot. Okay. Here we go. Shimmer Scale. This also helps produce gold through the items it gives you. Okay. Grants execute random shimmer. Yeah. So exclusive random shimmer scale items. I could probably do a better job of actually showing what all the items do, but it's a mix between tanky items that generate gold. They also are more efficient for the more gold you have, and it goes up to like 80 or something. So very interesting how you're going to be playing around these guys, but I definitely like it to get extra gold in the meantime. You'll see all about them in the videos that we're going to be making to come. Mirage. This is equivalent to the Mutant of last set, okay? Changes every single time. Lots of different shenanigans. So many variants. Ooh, Warlords in here. Executioner, Spell Ward, Duelist. Dude. I like how they just took all random traits from previous sets and just threw them in Mirage. I actually think that's hilarious. Nuna's a champion to watch out for. I'm happy he is back. Leona, annoying as ever. And a tier 5 Yasuo. Of course, they make this champion go nutso. Oh my gosh. Here's a lot of them. Duelist. There we go. Electric Overlord. Yeah, if you want to take a look at these, there's a whole lot of them. Alrighty. Wowzer. Anyways, moving on. Trainer. Like this a lot. Every round, trainers feed 1 snacks to Namzi each. Okay, it's like Gromp, but it's like a pet that they have. You just need 2 of them to summon Namzi, 3 of them for the ability to do more, and the more you put in, the more you feed them. Okay? And Namzi's star level is increased every 25 snacks. So the more you feed him, the faster he'll level. You guys will love playing with this guy. It's a free little tank on your team. When I run Mage, I like to put in Heimerdinger and Lulu because that's super good stuff. Free tank. And when I run Cannoneer with Tristana, when I run Cannoneer with Tristana, I like putting Lulu as well, just to have the Namzi as an extra tank in the front line. Okay. Oh boy, Scales Corn. Is that? Yep. Okay. If you don't have the dragon on your team, Scales Corn champions deal bonus magical damage and take 25% reduced damage from enemies with more than 1700 health. Pretty cool stuff if you don't have a dragon on your team. So I asked Riot, do you need a dragon for your team comp to be strong? They actually said no. There's a lot of team comps that are strong without having a dragon on your team, which I thought was pretty interesting. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. Revel. After dealing damage with an ability, launch a firecracker that deals magic damage to random enemies. Want some AoE? This is how you're gonna do it. Okay, this is gonna be how you do it. Corky goes crazy. And the synergy is actually super good with Jinx and Corky. They're both Cannoneers and they're both Revels, so super cool stuff there. And Sona will be fun to splash in your team comp as well. Guild. This is an interesting one. A super good champion to splash in your team comp if you just have 1 extra unit you want to slam on in. Okay. Grant a unique bonus to your team. Guild allies gain double the amount, increased for each guild member in play. So let's say we put in Sejuani and Twitch. Everyone on your team is going to get 10 attack speed from Twitch. Twitch is going to gain 20 attack speed. Well, I guess I'm wrong. If you have both of them in, you're going to get 120% of this bonus. So Twitch will have 24% attack speed, and his allies will get 12. And Sejuani will get 220 health. Allies will get 120. But if you were to have just one of them, and you put in a Talon, 20 attack damage, your whole team gets 10, and so on. Put in 6, you get 300%. Hot dog. That'll be super nice. Obviously, numbers are changed over here, so keep an eye on that. But like I said, super good to splash for the random shenanigans you need. Okay, Tempest. After 9 seconds, lightning strikes the battlefield. Enemies are stunned for 2 seconds and take a percentage of the maximum health as true damage. Tempest champions gain attack speed. So it looks like they nerfed this a little bit down to a 1 second, but notice how a 1 second stun, it can stop channels. It's a super good team comp to splash. I like Ornn and Lee Sin, or Ornn and Ezreal if you're playing the backline damage dealers, if you're playing assassins. Pretty much Ornn plus one of these for whatever you're running is going to be nasty, because that 1 second stun will come in clutch for sure. Dragons, this is what this whole entire set is about. They take up 2 slots in your team, but dragons provide +3 of the mark trait, but requires 2 team slots. They also gain 600 bonus health. Pretty cool. This trait is active with exactly 1 dragon champion. Okay, so obviously you can only run of them. There was a thing where I had like 9 as well. Not sure if you can actually run all of them. That you need like 7 force of natures or something stupid for that to happen, but who knows? Maybe we'll mess around with it. Probably not. Seems impossible. Moving on. Spell Thief. This champion yoinks abilities from champions from prior sets. I know there's a Janet Tornado in there. I know there's a Lux Laser in there. I know there's a Daisy in there. Zoe, word on the street, she's broken. Can splash into your team comp as well. It's going to be a very flexible champion. I think having a bunch of flexible champions like this makes this set a much harder skill capped set to master, which I think is pretty cool. Star Call. The first Star Call to cast their ability heals you for 2, 4, 100 depending on their star level. This is healing for your little legend, which I think is so cool. So cool. You can heal back up. It's like a little metabolic. Imagine this with a metabolic. Dude, you can heal 6 per round. That's nasty with a tier 2 Soraka. Heck yeah. Swift Shot. I think this one is so cool. Okay. Gain 2 hex attack range. Nice. Swift Shots gain attack speed for each hex between themselves and their target. So it's like Sniper, but instead of getting damage, you gain attack speed. So I want to see exactly how the heck this works. Are you guys going to like cap out on attack speed if they're across the board type shenanigans? I don't know, but excited to see it in action. Okay, Sassoons, pretty much in every single set. Gotta have them. They're a staple in TFT. Gotta love them. You guys know how this works. Gain critical strike chance, leap to the back, yada, yada, yada. All right, Bruisers, same as last set, but if you don't know what we're talking about, Bruisers gain double this bonus. Pretty cool stuff. Solid tank to have in the game, so gotta love it. Okay, Cannoneers. I don't know if you guys played back in the day when this was a thing, but every 5th attack, fire a cannon shot that explodes for physical damage around the target. Okay, lots of AoE. If you're the enemy, don't clump your units and you might survive. Okay, Guardian. Oh gosh, put in 4 of these level 1 and you're going to be unkillable. Once per combat at 50% health, Guardians shield themselves and their closest ally. Shields can stack. It's nasty. Throw on a Sunfire, run 4 of these guys early, and watch the enemy just cry and not deal any damage. I think it's pretty funny. Mage is back, baby. Mages cast twice and have modified total ability power. So if you have 3, their AP actually goes down, but you're using your ability twice, which is pretty freaking cool. Slap that on Zoe. Not sure if you use the same ability she steals twice, or if she were to just like double cast Janet Tornado with double cast Daisy, whatnot. We'll see how that all works in action. All right, Mystic. Gotta have some way to counter those filthy little mages. Get some magic resist. Run these guys. Bard. Oh my gosh, we gotta talk about that dude later. But Invoker. Notice how it's changed already. They added an extra Invoker to the mix. You can now get 10 mana. Oh wow, that's nice to have. If you have champions that need to spam abilities, run these guys. Shapeshifters are back, baby. Transforming grants bonus maximum health and heals for that amount. Fatty heal. Morello will screw these guys a lot, but Swain, Elise is back. Not sure who that is. I feel like an idiot. Nico, lots of fun stuff there. Glad to have Shapeshifter back. That was like Pleb's favorite freaking trait. Warrior. Warriors' attacks have a 25% chance to increase the damage of their next attack. Pretty cool stuff. Holy, 6 of them. 400%. Yeah, no wonder that got nerfed. My goodness. But 2 got buffed. I like that. Yasuo's in this trait and Yon's in this trait, dude. They're brothers. They do work together. Cavalier. These guys charge quickly towards their enemy whenever they move. Cavaliers gain armor and magic resist at the start of combat after each charge. Gain double the amount for 4 seconds. Oh, I like that. So you want them charging all around the map, doing some crazy stuff. The fact that Nunu's going to be zapping towards people and munching them for a whole lot of true damage is going to be meme-tastic. Dragonmancer. Use the Dragonmancer blessing item to choose a hero. The hero gains massively increased health and ability power, which increases by 5% per star level on your Dragonmancers. So it's going to give you an item that you use on any of these guys in there, and you're going to get a whole lot of juicy shenanigans like this. Okay, but you can only use it on Dragonmancers, so choose wisely. I think it's going to be super fun to use on Swain, Lee Sin, Yasuo. It's a Volibear. My goodness. Look at this. 2,000 health over here if you have 9 of them. A champion's going to turn into an absolute monster. Legend. This one's a weird one. Okay. Each combat, an adjacent ally bestows their spirit to the legend, which gains 100% of their health, armor, and magic resistance, plus 40% of their ability power. Interesting how this one's going to work. You can't run it early game because it requires 3 out of the 3 in the class, and it's a tier 3, and a tier 4. So it looks like mid to late game this is going to come to life. Curious how good this is going to be. Definitely want to mess around with it some more. Bard. I like how they just call it Bard. Allies that survive player combat have a 2% chance to create a doot. Bard always creates a doot when dancing. Each doot you collect increases your shop odds by 1% for tier 3, 4, and 5 cost champions. As you saw in the earlier on in the video, it just goes from left to right for your odds getting increased. So it's actually super nice to get tier 1 costs out of the window. You will have a 0% chance of getting them. So make sure you don't actually sell any of the ones that you might actually want down the road. That'll be interesting. But create a doot whenever you dance. Whenever you ult, Bard dances, which he has a pretty cool ability. And whenever you win a round, notice how you dance then too. So that's going to be fun to collect some doots in those ways. Alrighty, moving on to champions and their abilities. Aatrox, Shimmer Scale Warrior, Tier 1, Deathbringer Strike. Aatrox strikes his target for X amount of physical damage, 208% of his attack damage, and heals himself for X amount. I think the fact that he has AP and AD into his kit makes him extremely fun. I think I used to run like a Deathblade plus Archangels, which made him an insane carry, which I absolutely loved. Ezreal, Swift Shot. It's that one class, the farther away you are, the more attack speed you get. Ezreal fires a bolt towards his target. The first enemy hit takes X amount of magical damage and grants attack speed, stacking up to 5 times. I think it's the same thing as last set. I don't know if he scaled with AD or AP, but the fact that he does scale with AP, a little weird. I would probably prefer AD, but I guess this makes for some pretty interesting builds. Hammer Ding Dong lobs an Ugg at the highest health enemy. I love that. That's going to mean he is stunning people in the way back with a lot of HP, and you can't really position around it because previously you just hide people from the corners from Blitzcrank, Thresh, all those shenanigans. If you're healthy, you're getting an egg tossed on your head. Maybe you frontline your carry so he doesn't get focused. Genius, right? Genius. But tier 1s that have high impact abilities like stuns like this on carries is actually huge. Alrighty, Karma fires a burst of energy towards her target, doing X amount of magical damage in a small area around the first enemy hit. First enemy hit, pretty interesting. Tanks are going to be soaking this up. That's probably why it's going to have pretty high damage. Another tier 1, Leona. Oh, baby. Leona creates a barrier around herself, reducing all incoming damage by X amount for 4 seconds. This is fun. Pretty much when that shield's on, you're not taking any damage whatsoever. Nidalee, Primal Surge. Nidalee transforms into cougar form. Another shapeshifter Astral. So, Astral, one of those 3 tier 1 champions in the mix. Crazy shenanigans. Reducing her attack range to 1, gaining bonus move speed, and 55% attack speed, which scales with AP. While in cougar form, every third attack swipes her target for X amount of physical damage. Dude, so much double scaling going on, which is going to make builds crazy interesting. Money swings her mace wide, hitting all enemies in a cone for X amount of magical damage, plus their maximum health. Pretty cool. She quickly strikes again, repeating the damage on her target and the enemy directly behind it, stunning them for 1.5 seconds. More stuns, lots of CC being added in so far. I love it. Senna, my friend claims his champion's broken. We'll see how she goes further into the set. But Cannoneer plus Rage Wing. Interesting. Omnivamp added into the kit automatically. That's going to change the itemization for sure. But launches a miss towards the furthest enemy, striking the first enemy hit, dealing X amount, scaling with the AD on a small area. The first enemy hit is dealt an additional X amount of... Wow, that is a lot. Lots of damage being added in. I like it. All right, Set. For the next 4 seconds, Set gains a whole lot of armor, whole lot of magic resist. And every other punch deals... Dude, another double scaler. That is ridiculous. But Rage Wing, Dragonmancer. I'm curious which one of these tier 1s are going to be full-on carry mode. This is going to be fun to watch. Skarner shields himself and gains attack speed while it holds. Very interesting. That's like a ridiculous amount of attack speed. It's kind of like his W in normal League of Lego. Curious how this one's going to pan out. No AD involved, but who knows what this is going to end up being. Alrighty, Tom Cookie Kush, baby. Tom shields himself for X amount plus 10% of his maximum health for 6 seconds. While the shield holds enemies that take damage. Wait, what? Shields holds enemies that take 50 extra magical damage up to 3 seconds. Interesting stuff. So he damages, shields himself, and Revel. So this is the one that like shoots out rockets to the enemy. Cool stuff there. Tarek grants himself and his closest ally a protective rune that increases armor. Oh, good versus high AD teams. Interesting. Tarek plus a Mystic comp. That's going to be juicy. Vladimir, Mage plus Astral. One of those reroll comps. Curious how good this champion's going to be. Archangel Staff. Going to be fun on this guy. Double scaling with healing and damage. Gotta love it. All right. Ash Ketchum. Moving on to tier 2s, baby. Ash fires a volley of 8 arrows. Enemies hit by at least 1 arrow. Take X amount of... Dude, magical? What the heck is going on here? And suffer reduced. So is Ash really an AP champion? Are you going like Archangel's Rageblade Spear Sojin, or what's going on here? This is interesting stuff. They're mixing up the scaling and what scales on which champs for sure. This set a bunch. Brum. A nice little E going on for 4 seconds, reducing his damage taken from that direction from X amount. Curious if this is going to work for like things like Heimerdinger. Does that go over the shield or does that go through the shield? Curious about that one. I have to drink so much water talking this much. My gosh. It's Gnar, baby. Transforms into mega form, jumping to his target and knocking up nearby enemies for 1 second. Little stun knock up. Love it. What in the world? The fact that AP gives him more AD through scaling. So weird. So weird. Honestly, I'll probably like it once I get more used to it. It's just going to throw things for a loop build-wise for sure. Another AP. What the heck? Cannoneer does a percentage of your AD damage in an AoE. So the fact that the ability scales with AP, it's all over the place. I feel like the most OP champions are going to be the ones that scale with AD and want AD. Does that make sense? Like Jinx wants AD but scales with AP. So it's going to be all over the place on how this works. Jinx gains 10 mana for each empty trap. That's cool stuff. Kane sweeps his scythe in a line through his target, dealing X amount of magical damage and enemies and an additional X amount of magical. I messed that up completely. You guys can read it. I feel stupid. Lilia. This is a Cavalier Mage. Scale corn all over the place, but strikes a small area around her. Target's current location, dealing X amount of magical damage, spreads amongst all enemies hit, and X amount bonus magical damage to enemies at the center of the blast. Cool stuff. I like it. A little Q on the enemy, it looks like. Not sure. Nami Ebb and flow. Curious if this is going to be more of a support, more of a carry. I think it definitely falls off late game, but early mid game, it's going to be McNasty. Launches a wave to her target that bounces 2 additional targets, prioritizing low health targets. Enemies take X amount of magical damage, and allies heal for a whole lot as well. Love it, love it, love it. She really turns the tide of fights, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Flames Refuge. Shen creates a zone around himself for 3 seconds in which all nearby allies dodge basic attacks. While it's active, Shen gains X amount of magical damage. So you're blocking auto attacks, which helps with physical damage, and you get MR, which is also amazing. Shen going to be a solid tank for sure. Also going to be able to deal damage at the same time with the whole warrior bonus shenanigans. Dude, lots of triple trait champions into the mix here. Some team comps are going to get crazy. Like Riot said, this set's going to be a whole lot harder than the last set and has a lot of familiar aspects of last set because so many people were playing this set. Thresh is back, baby. My favorite champion in League of Lego himself. All right. Hooks the furthest enemy, dealing X amount of magical damage and pulling them towards himself for 2 seconds. Basic, nothing new. Tristana fires up to 2 explosive charges, prioritizing the closest targets without a charge. Charges detonate after 3 seconds, dealing X amount of physical damage to nearby enemies and extra magical damage to the target. Cool stuff. Twitchy twitch, baby. This is a guild swift shot splash. If you're going to want attack speed, throw in your boy Twitch. Twitch hurls an explosive flask at his target, dealing X amount of physical damage. It doesn't scale, which definitely sucks. I guess it scales with a percentage of your attack damage. And plus AP added as well, and reducing armor of enemies hit by 40% for 5 seconds. Depending on the radius of this flask, Twitch could be nasty to splash, especially in like a Cannoneer team comp or something like that. Yoan Mama. This is going to be a tier 2 carry that's going to be so sick. His passive is Yoan basic attacks alternate between dealing magical damage and bonus physical damage. So it's going to be very hard to itemize defensive stats against this guy. Okay. Anivia, moving on to tier 3s. Summons a prismatic storm around her target, dealing X amount of damage over 3 seconds. Enemies in the storm have their magic resist reduced by 40%. This is going to be another good unit to splash in mage comps. It's not a mage, but very similar to Twitch, where it's going to help out those people who don't have last whispers, all those shenanigans. All right. Diana shields herself for X amount for 6 seconds and summons 5 orbs around her. These orbs burst for X amount of magical damage when they hit an enemy. When the final orb bursts, her shield refreshes. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. This champion's going to be sick. An assassin, gotta love it. Elise, a shapeshifter, transforms into a spider form for the rest of combat, losing 1 attack range, so she's down to 1, and replacing her ability with Venom Bite, which she immediately casts. Venom Bite, Elise next attack deals X amount of magical damage. If she kills her target, she ascends, becoming untargetable and dropping near the lowest health enemy and immediately casting Venom Bite again. That is so cool. Being untargetable, going back on the lowest health ally, is very efficient damage. So she's going to be good to have in the team comp if you're running shapeshifters, if you're looking to execute low HP targets and keep that damage efficient. And she'll just keep resetting. Depending how long that cast is going to make or break this champion. Alrighty. Alawi, a tier 3. I missed the tier 1 Alawi that we saw in the previous set. Alawi slams Horror Idol into the ground, summoning 3 tentacles that lash out, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies hit in a cone. Alawi steals 15% armor and magic resist for each enemy hit for 6 seconds. Dude, awesome tank. Awesome bruiser. Okay? Stack armor. Use your ability more often. You're going to get, or no, not stack armor. Stack health, because you're going to be stealing armor and magic resist from enemies. All right? So if you're hitting other tanks with these tentacles, Alawi is becoming an absolute beast. Okay? Lee Sin Sunshine. Lee Sin kicks her target, stunning them for 1.5 seconds and knocking them back. The target and all enemies they hit take X amount of magical damage. Interesting. I thought this was his E for a second. I guess I am dumb. Whimsy. This is the one Lulu. I think it was it a tier 3 or a tier 5 back in the day? I'm pretty sure it was a tier 3. Maybe it was a tier 5. I don't know. Pretty much gives attack speed or polymorphs enemies and does it to the 3 closest allies or enemies. I wonder if like frontlining Lulu on the very opposite side of your board is going to be a good idea, because you're basically like stunning people for 1.5 seconds, and if you stun 3 people like that, pretty freaking strong. I'm gonna love Lulu for sure. And the trainer summoning Namzi, gotta love it. It's gonna be a champion people splash a lot in their team comps. Nunu encourages Willem to bite her target, dealing X amount of magical damage. If Willem's target has less health than he does before the bite, it deals an additional 33 damage and becomes true damage. Bruh. I love Hez Taco Gunblade. You know what's gonna be really good? Bloodthirster on this Nunu. I think it's gonna be so cool. Getting health back. Bloodthirster, Warmogged, Archangel Staff. That's tomorrow's video. Subscribe. You guys can always come back to this bad boy too to see what people do and whatnot, to learn more about the set. Passive, Olaf seeks Glorious Death, permanently gaining 5 attack damage, 10 in hyper roll whenever he dies. Ooh, what the heck? That's freaking cool. Active, Olaf strikes his target, dealing X amount of physical damage and gaining X amount of attack speed for 4 seconds. If he's below 50% health, the attack speed is doubled. So cool. I'm going to be frontlining this champion all game, early game, to make him an absolute beast come late game. Curious which items are going to be slick for him. Wow. But yeah, you best bet we're inting him early game. That's going to be fun. Overlord. Rise hurls 1 arcane orb at his target, dealing X amount of magical damage. 240% of maximum mana. Okay. Each cast increased his maximum mana by 20 and the number of orbs thrown by 1. So cool. So cool. Curious how broken or horrible this champion's going to be. Leaning towards broken, especially with the cool build. Dude, Mana Immune, whatever it's called. Oh my god. Oh boy. Shapeshifter Swain, baby. Swain transforms into dragon form, replacing his attacks with fireballs that deal X amount of magical damage, and replacing his ability with Greater Fireball. Greater Fireball. Swain's next fireball does 100% more damage and explodes in an area around his target. Love it. That's going to be super cool to watch as well. I wonder how good blue buff's going to be, because it's, oh, it got nerfed to 40. It's not going to instantly put him in that form. Interesting. I guess with another mana item, it instantly will too. Who knows what's going to be good on this guy? Who the heck knows? Silas. Silas whirls his chains, dealing X amount of magical damage, hits, and doing the whole Mana Reeve shenanigans, increasing the cost of their next ability by 35%. Bro, this is a buff to Rise. It's going to do more damage with his with this ability. If this hits at least 1 Mana Reeved enemy, Silas shields himself for X amount. Ooh. That's pretty cool. Interesting if that's going to be useful or not. If he can proc his shield a bunch, Silas is going to be a sick tank to have, especially in a mage comp. Ooh, that's why. You slash twice with the mage buff, then get the shield without mage. No bueno. You're not going to want to run this guy. Good to know. Chain of Tentacles, baby. Varus sends out a cosmic tendril towards his target that strikes the first enemy hit, dealing X amount of physical damage and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. Then spreads to 3 nearby enemies, dealing X amount of magical damage and stunning them for the remainder of the duration. Huh. Very, very interesting. Curious if this CC is going to be solid or not. Okay. Volleyboob, Relentless Storm, gains, or Volleyball rages, gaining X amount of health for the rest of combat. Every third attack deals X amount of bonus damage to his target, and X amount of magical damage up to 3 additional allies. Bro, is this champion going to be like a Rage Blade bolting machine or what? Like Sojin Rage Blade? I literally have no idea. Rage Blade for sure if you want to make him an absolute carry, but maybe just AP and tankiness is the way to go. Who the heck knows? Moving on into some tier 4 champions. This is a dragon added to the mix. Wind Blast. This is the Mirage family. So some games it's gonna absolutely suck. In some games it's gonna be amazing. All right, but the ability attacks, deal X amount of bonus magic damage, and reduces the target's magic resist by 3. Ooh, that's pretty cool. That's just the passive. The active sends a wind blast towards the largest group of enemies, dealing X amount of magical damage for the next 5 seconds. Attacks, launch 3 barrages. Cool stuff. Gonna mess with that dragon for sure. Shimmer Scale. This is where you get the free item with just having in this dragon alone. All right. Itis hardens her scales for 2 seconds, reducing incoming damage by 50. She then roars, healing herself for X amount of health and shielding other allies for 150 or whatever amount, depending on your AP, for 5 seconds. The shield grants 40% attack speed while it holds. That's pretty cool, especially if you're looking to run some damage champions that need to attack quickly. Love it, love it, love it. Jade form. All right, this is where you get the little totems that help you out. Okay, enters Jade stance, gaining X amount of damage reduction, immunity to crowd control, and empowering her next 3 auto attacks with special effects that deal or that scale with physical damage. 325% of her physical damage to be exact. Attack 1, deal physical damage and stuns your target for 1.5 seconds. Attack 2, deals true damage, and 3, ends the stance, dealing X amount of physical damage to all enemies in a line, knocking them up for 1.5 seconds. That's pretty cool. Siphon charges towards the farthest enemy within 2 hexes, dealing X amount of magical damage and knocking up enemies they pass through. If no enemies are nearby, he'll charge again. After charging, Siphon bites the enemy, dealing X amount of physical damage, 400% of the attack damage, and ignoring 50% of the target's armor. Crazy. It actually scales with just straight percentage of attack damage as well. Throw on a death blade on this bad boy and go crazy. The only problem is it's really annoying to get a 2-star / 3-star of these, and that's how death blade scales the best. Low key in the comments, if you missed the old death blade, let me know. All right, and which item of or which champion of all sets is your favorite? I need to know. Corki, I've been running this guy a lot recently. Corki launches a barrage of 4 missiles towards his target, striking the first enemy hit for X amount of magical damage. The final missile is the big one, and also deals AP plus AD in an area. Cool stuff. I've seen this get wasted a bunch though, and it's very sad because the people in the way of Corki end up dying, and then this thing ends up being useless, which sucks to see. Hecarim. Onslaught of Shadows. Hecarim summons spectral riders that charge through his target, dealing X amount of magical damage and stunning enemies hit for 2.5 seconds. Holy, that's a long stun. Wow, okay. Surprised it's not a fear. I guess they don't like fears in TFT. Nico, a tier 4 for a second. I thought she was a tier 3. Each combat, Nico disguises herself as the nearest allied champion, adding their bonus attack damage and attack speed and ability power to her own and copying all their stats except health. She then gains a shield for X amount plus 10% of her allies' health. This champion's all over the place. When the shield breaks, she transforms into Nico form and casting Pop Blossom, dealing X amount of magical damage to nearby enemies and stunning them for 2 seconds. Nico then casts Pop Blossom each time she recasts reaches maximum mana. Super interesting. I wish you could steal the abilities of the allies you have, or that the person she copied. I think that'd be super cool as well, but nope, that ain't it. Ornn, okay, summons an elemental that charges towards Ornn through the furthest enemy, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies hit and slowing their attack speed up 50% for 3 seconds. That's a lot of attack speed being slown. Ornn's going to be a sweet support that you want to splash, especially because he's a part of the Bruiser and Tempest family. This is probably going to be one of the most splashed champions for sure. Okay, when the elemental reaches Ornn, he redirects towards another distant enemy, dealing X amount of magical damage. Enemies hit and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. Bruh. Got slows, have stuns. Love the tank. Okay. Sona plays her ultimate cord towards the furthest enemy, dealing X amount of magical damage. Damage doesn't really matter. The fact that she stuns them for 2 seconds does a whole lot. Crescendo, gotta love it. All right, another super splash one because Invoker, that just gives mana to more to the whole team, and you only need 2. Same with Revel. All right, Guild plus Assassin. This might be a decent champion to splash just because it's one of those that launches into the back, does a good job of holding Frozen Heart, and gives AD to everyone. Okay, Talon Stealth for 1.5 seconds and flings out a ring of blades, dealing X amount of magical damage, or sorry, physical damage to enemies hit. He then leaps to an enemy and recalls the blades, dealing that damage again and dealing AP as well this time and physical damage. What the 480% of his attack damage to his target? Wow. Okay. Scales really well with AD. That's going to be fun to watch. Xayah. For 4 seconds, Xayah attacks, also fire a feather for 5 physical damage. 8% of her attacks damage. And extra feathers at up to 2 feathers near her target. Feathers are left behind her targets. This is like normal League of Legos Xayah. Think of it like that. Xayah. At the end of this duration, Xayah recalls her feathers. Each one deals more physical damage and AP to enemies hit. Pretty cool. Lots of attack speed. It's going to be sick. Curious how this champion's going to work. If only Hurricane added more feathers, that would be sick. Moving on to tier 5 champions. A 10 cost in this case. Fires a barrage of 15 lightning strikes at random enemies. Each strike deals X amount of magical damage and drains 20 mana from his target. Bro, that is ridiculous. Wow, that's strong. I guess 180 mana pool is not something to mess around with. I feel like a blue buff on this to get this ability out and draining everyone's mana is going to be so sick. Aurelion Soul, baby. Summons an unstable black hole underneath a random enemy. After 2 seconds, it implodes, dealing X amount of magical damage to all enemies hit in the area and reducing their attack damage by 40 for 4 seconds. Each cast in that area increased by 50% and the damage increased by X amount. You're going to want to cast this a lot because it gets bigger and bigger every time he uses it and gets stronger and stronger. So something like a Rage Blade, Sojin, maybe even an Archangel's, because it's going to be way strong by the end of the round, will be sick. The fact that it's random target and doesn't prioritize hitting the most amount of people will be annoying for sure. But the minusing AD is pretty interesting how that works as well. Alrighty. Ragewing Shyvana, one of my favorites. Shyvana transforms into a dragon for the rest of combat. I love that it's the rest of combat. Replacing her abilities with Flame Breath. She then becomes untargetable before dive bombing into the largest group of enemies, dealing X amount of magical damage and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. Alright. Flame Breath does fire in a cone, dealing X amount of the enemy's maximum health as magical damage. Pretty cool stuff. Curious how you're going to want to itemize her. I just love Rage Blade. Am I obsessed with Rage Blade? I'm curious if like a Titans. I wonder how that will be on Shyvana. But anyways, itemization, it's up in the air right now, big time. Bard, you saw it early on in the video. Going to be breaking games. I think this is going to be the biggest nightmare of all to balance. Seriously. I think this champion is going to be nerfed and nerfed and nerfed some more. I think putting him in for a few rounds, getting rid of tier 1 champions when you don't want them, and just increasing your odds by a little bit is going to be really important. Like, let's say you're at level 8, get your tier 5 cost champions from like a 4% up to like a 10%, and then getting rid of him will be sick, because I think his ability is going to get nerfed, because I think it's actually not too bad right now. We'll see. I'm going to be curious how they nerf Bard for sure. Pike dives towards the lowest health enemy and slashes an X, dealing X amount of magical damage to his target and X amount to other enemies strike. Enemies suffer 50% reduced healing for 8 seconds. If Pike hits an enemy below 30% health, he executes them and immediately recast death from below. So cool. Scales with AP. Looks like IE plus like a death cap with the assassin trait is going to be so sick, dude. Getting a tier 2 with that execute threshold as well. What if instead of trying to go the high damage route, you just play off the execute, so you run like a blue buff and healing? Do you heal off the execute damage? That's going to be something we are going to need to try out for sure. All right, Soraka passive. While an ally is below 50% health, Soraka gains an additional 5 mana per auto attack. So cool. Active. Soraka calls down a shower of stars. Over the next 2 seconds, allies are healed for X amount each time a star hits them. Super cool, dude. And don't forget about the star call bonus where you actually heal your little legend. That's going to be a big reason why people run this champion as well. It's going to be able to prolong your it's like a little makeshift metabolic, which is super cool. Alrighty. Yasuo, tier 5 champion, baby. They said they had to add some flair. So wait till you see. Does it even say it? Or do you have to press shift? Oh, here it is. If Yasuo hits the last enemy left alive, he repeatedly slashes until they die. That's pretty cool if you ask me. Okay. Zoe. Lots of champions in one. Kale's intervention ult, which is 1 second. Janna's tornado from set 3. Ivern's Daisy ult from set 5. Lux's laser from set 6. Wait, was it set 6? Maybe the very first set? Yeah. Set 6, not 6.5. Dude, 4 champions in 1. It's tier 5 cost. Gotta love it. Curious which items are going to be OP on her. All right. Namzi. This is the trainer shenanigans that you get if you put at least 2 in. Namzi breathes fire towards his target, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies hit and burning them for 1% of their maximum health. True damage per second. So maybe don't stack this with the Sunfire Cape and you'll be groovy. Okay. But moving on to Augments. Let's jump into it. And do not forget about the reroll that you get. All right. Band of Thieves. Gain 1 Thieves Glove. Pretty cool. Late game specialist. Gain 40 gold when you reach level 9. Dude, I'm going to take this. Rush level 9. Cash out on the gold. Love it. Pandora's Bench. Oh my gosh. Is this what I think it is? Gain 5 gold at the start of every turn. Champions in your 3 rightmost bench slots transform into a random champion of the same cost. That's pretty freaking cool. That's going to help getting champions to 3 stars that you actually want a lot. Alrighty. AFK, you cannot perform actions for the next 3 rounds. Afterwards, gain... What the? Bro, you think they added this if you need to go to the bathroom? Because going to the bathroom in TFT is low-key a nightmare. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm curious if you can use this whenever you want. Like, let's say your next turn, you get every champion you want, so you can't not do anything. But the turn after that, in the next 3, you can not do anything, then you get the 20 gold. I think that'd be pretty cool. Combat Training 1. Your champions permanently gain 1 attack damage every time they kill an enemy unit. Champions start with 2 attack damage. Bruh. I think I actually ran this, but prismatic form today. And it was so cool. It scales into late game amazingly. Best friends. Your units that start combat only adjacent to each other gain 15% attack speed and 15% armor. Heck yeah. When your units kill an enemy, they gain 20 mana. Pretty cool stuff there. Preparation. Units on your bench gain 10 attack damage and ability power and ability damage every round, up to 30. So I guess you AFK your units for a little bit and then go next. Big friend. Your units that start combat next to a unit with above 2,000 health take 10% less damage for the rest of combat. Interesting. Assassin Heart, your team counts having additional assassin. Gain Cane, that's pretty cool. Astral Heart, you guys know how these work. Bruiser Heart, gain a Shen. Ooh, we got a little Braum / Shen there. That's kind of cute. Cannoneer Heart, gain a Tristana. Cavalier, Dragonmancer. We know how all these work. All right. Nothing new there. Nothing new there. Lots of hearts across the board. They're nice to have. Rich get richer. Getting into the tier 2s. Gotta love it. Remember, these are the more common ones in this set, which I like a lot. Gain 15 gold. Maximum interest. Dude, can they make a prismatic one where your interest is like uncapped? That'd be so cool. Rito, write that down. Earth's grab bag. Gain 1 spatula and 1 random item component. The fact that you can get spats more easily is going to be able to open up different team comps, which will be cool. I think near the end of the previous set, they did a really good job of highlighting chaser traits, and that egg helped reach that better. And I think this Earth grab bag will help a lot with that too. Gadget expert. Direct damage items. Deal 40% more damage as true damage and gain a static shiv. Bro, triple static shiv with this is going to be McNasty. Cluttered Mine. This is getting nerfed. I would put my freaking life on it, dude. This is beyond broken. All right, this is probably going to go to a prismatic augment if I were to guess. Last Stand. Hey, this bad boy comes in handy. I love it. All right. I like it a lot. You actually don't get a lot of value until the very end, though, and then you got one chance and one opportunity to make this work. Wow, 20% Omnivamp is cool as well. That's pretty cool. Hopefully not one dude is so mega strong that you get bopped. Curious how well this one's going to do. All right, better together. Aura items, a little buff across the board. Gotta love it. If you're slamming ice cream cones, this is going to be good for you for sure. Combat Training 2. This is the permanent AD one where you stack all game. If you get it early, could be amazing. All right. Best Friends 2. Already talked about that. Gain 30 mana on a kill now instead. Gain an Assassin Emblem and a Cane. Pretty cool stuff. Cutthroat. Assassin's mana reave the first unit they attack, increasing their maximum mana by 35%. This was pretty similar to something last set as well. So, gotta love that. Gain Astral Emblem. Ooh, here we go. Astral Orbs, but 50% chance to spawn a smaller orb that contains bonus loot. Gain a Nami. It's going to be orbs for days with this thing. That's going to be interesting. All right. Gain a Bruiser Emblem. Gotta love that. Personal Training. At the end of combat, champions that started combat adjacent to the Bruiser permanently gained 30 health, increased by 20 if they survived. It's going to be cool for stacking HP. Very curious to see how that's going to work out. All right. Titanic Strength. Bruisers gain 2% of their maximum health as attack damage. Ooh, this with Cho'Gath last set. I don't know if I actually made an 80 Cho'Gath video. I think I did once maybe. But it was fun for sure. All right. Gain a Cannoneer Emblem. Curious how it's going to work with their ability or whatnot, or if their auto attacks blowing up. It's going to be interesting. All right. Cannoneers, cannons, shots, bounce once. Ooh. Little sharpshooter augment going on there. That's kind of cool. Hot Shot. Cannoneers' cannon shots burn their targets, dealing 8% of the target's maximum health as true damage over 4 seconds and reducing healing. All right, so remember, don't stack Morellos or Sunfires with this bad boy. Okay, keep that in mind. Cavalier Emblem, cool stuff. Cavalier's first attack after charging deal 90 magical damage, increased by a 1% for each armor and mattresses they have. Bruh. Frontline. Gargoyle. Frontline plus Gargoyle. That's going to be cool stuff for sure. All right. Dragon's Alliance. The dragon trait remains active regardless of how many dragons you have. Dragons gain 30 armor mattresses. Gain a random tier 4 dragon. Oh my god, that's cool. Imagine running like 4 dragons in your team comp. Bro, what? The dragon trait remains active regardless of how many dragons you have. Dragons gain 15% or 15 attack damage and ability power. Gain for a random tier 4 dragon. I'm going to mess around with these big time. That's going to be so fun. Inspire. When the Dragon Man's hero gets taken down, champions that share a trait with the Dragon hero gain 50% attack speed for 3 seconds. It's not that crazy. I mean, and I guess if you're running a tank dragon, just frontline him, have him die first. Pretty cool buff. I mean, I could see this getting buffed, to be totally honest. Gain a Dragonmancer emblem. Pretty cool stuff. Another Invoker emblem. Cool. Invokers attacks steal 5 mana from their targets. This is pretty cool. Imagine attack speed Sona. Just yoinking mana from literally everyone. Alright. Gain a Guardian emblem. Gotta love it. Guardians taunt all enemies within every 2 seconds. Enemies that attack a Guardian's shield take magical damage equal to 8% of their maximum. This seems pretty freaking strong if you ask me. Curious how that's going to end up doing. Guild emblem. Interesting. Loot Master. Gain a random component every 4 combat rounds when you have at least 2 guild active. This is like the new scrap trait emblem augment that you saw earlier. Pretty cool stuff. Guild champions holding an item gain 25 armor and another 200% of their guild bonuses. Bro, it's going to be fun to run guild team comp with this. I'm curious how well a guild team comp will do. They're like splashing all traits, buffs, bonuses across the board. Interesting stuff. Jade emblem, gotta love it. Eternal production. When one of your Jade champions would die, the nearest Jade statue protects them, losing 70% of his max health and transferring 200% of that amount to the champion. Gain an Ash. Jade with this is gonna be sick. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Enemies are disarmed for 2.5 seconds the first time they attack a Jade statue or are damaged by a Jade statue explosion. Pretty cool. All right. Mage emblem. Gotta love it. While the mage trait is active, a random mage portals onto your bench after combat with a player. Ooh. Like Yordles for mages? Bro, the fact that... I'm trying to think of how many tier 1 mages there are. There's a lot of low-cost mages, but if you get this early, you're 3-star in the whole board, baby. Send it to the moon and back. Mirage Crest, gain the emblem. Gotta love it. Mirage champions take 90% less damage for the first 5 seconds of combat. I think this is pretty cool. Especially if you have items that scale in later on into the round, like a Rage Blade or a Titans or Archangels, all those shenanigans, because the round's getting delayed for sure. Get a little Ragewing emblem. Cool. Every 5th instance of Ragewing champions damaging deals 25% more damage and is converted to true damage. Always love true damage. Lots of attack speed. Will be cool. Tantrum. After casting their first ability, Rage Wings restore 100% of their maximum rage. Ooh. That's nice. Get a little emblem from those bad boys. Party favorites. Gain 1 gold for every 6 firecrackers launched by Revel champions each combat. Additionally, gain a special prize for the first time 100 total firecrackers are launched. That sounds fun. It sounds really fun. Party time. After Reveal scores a takedown, they gain 60% attack speed for 3 seconds. Gain a Jinx. This is going to be so good on Corky. My gosh. Gain the emblem. Cool. Nomads. Skelecorns gain 10% damage every time they start combat in a new hex. Ooh. That's kind of easy to use. Beast's Den. Units that start combat next to at least 2 shapeshifters gain 35% attack speed and move speed. Shapeshifters always gain this bonus. Ooh, heck yeah. I love that. Little emblem there. Reckless spending. If you purchase both EXP. Ooh, I had a 6 synergy in one of my games. If you purchase both EXP and a shop refresh during the planning phase, Shimmer Scale champions gain 30% damage for the next combat phase. Gain a cane. So, I had this with the refresh shop one, So I automatically refreshed my shop. All I do was buy EXP once per round and bonus damage across the board. It was cool. All right. Swift shot crest. Gotta love it. Press the attack. Your swift shots attacks apply a stack on their targets for 5 seconds. Every third stack consumes all stacks to deal true damage equal to 5% of the target's maximum health. Gain a twitch. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. All right. Tempest emblem. Gotta love it. Eye of the Storm. At the start of combat, the unit in the center of the board gains 50 ability power, increases to 150 after Tempest Lightning strikes, gaining Kiana. So this is front and center, I think. I ran it one game, it was front and center. So have fun putting whoever you want up front like that. I guess Kiana would jump to the back, so that's pretty nice, but we'll see how this ends up working out. Later on to the round, if you have an Archangels on this champion plus this whole 150 ability power, 9 seconds into combat, because that's when the lightning strikes. That's a lot of AP. Curious how that's going to work out. Secret snacks. Trainers have a 33% chance to secretly feed their Dragonlings bonus snacks. Gain a Tristana. So, if you want to feed Nomsy a whole lot more, this is going to be the one you want to do it on. I love it. All right. Gain a warrior emblem. Cool, cool. Tiamat. If you play League of Legends, you know what this does. Gain a Tiamat. I love it. Curious how good that's going to actually be. All right. Whisper's Crest. Gain a little Whisper. More reducing their resistances that way. Twilight Umbra. Units that start combat next to the Whispers are stealth for 5 seconds. Curious how that stealth is going to work. Seems interesting. Moving on to Prismatics, baby. Oh, now we're talking. Gain 1 spatula and 3 random item components. Cool, cool. Gain a random Ornn item now and after every 10 player combats. Dude, if you get this round 1, count me in. Ornn iteming 3 across the board. Sounds so cool. Gain 2 Tome of Traits. That sounds fun. Buying EXP costs 3 health instead of gold. Oh my gosh. You can go to level 8 round 1. I cannot wait for that to happen. I am beyond excited. Think fast. Shop refreshes are free until the end of this round. Traits and other augments do not benefit from these free shops. Gain 8 gold. Wow. That is so cool. This got added in pretty recently because if you run Astral, you know how every 5th combat you get an orb? For like the first day or 2, you could just spam refresh and get a bajillion orbs. Imagine if you had a hotkey to do it. Bro, that'd be so cool. Cursed Crown. Gain 2 maximum team sizes, but take 100% increased player damage. Oh my god, this is the cursed Frozen Heart from back in the day, bro. Wowzer. Combat training. Permanently gain AD for each kill you get. I'm gonna love that one. Best friends. Unit that start combat only adjacent to each other. Gain 35% attack speed and armor. Cool stuff there. Assassin Crown. Gain an Assassin emblem, an Infinity Edge, and a Diana. IE plus Assassin. Bonkers. Alright. If I get this, I'm running Pike instantly. You best bet it, baby. Astral Crown. Your team counts as having 1 additional Astral, gain, a Redemption, and a Varus. Interesting. They're throwing in a lot of shenanigans into these augments. Curious how that's going to affect the decision making. All right, like you got 3 different things going on here. I think that's pretty cool. Gain a Bruiser emblem, and a Redemption, and a Lowy. Lots of shenanigans going down. Emblem, Giant Slayer, and Tristana. Cavalier Unity. The Cavalier traits grants bonuses to all your champions. Dude, everyone's going to be freaking hopping around on a horse. That's going to be fun to watch. This does not increase your number of Cavaliers. It's going to be fun to watch people dashing around. Getting a Cavalier emblem and Redemption and a Nunu. Cool stuff. Dragonmancer Soul. Lots going on there. Hand of Justice. Hodge. Gotta love it. And Lee Sin. Cool stuff there. Crown, Spear, Sojin. I like how all the items definitely synergize with the traits you're looking at. Definitely like that. Gargoyle, Stoneplate, Guardians, and a Braum. Good synergies with these champions for sure. Gain a Giant Slayer and a Rise. Jade Crown. I like looking at the items. You get an Ionic Spark with these guys. That's pretty cool. Mage Crown. Another Spear of Sojin. Surprised they didn't pick Archangels or Death Cap for that one. Mirage Crown. Another Hand of Justice. They're doing a really good job of picking good items for these, whatever you call them. Another Spear of Sojin. Spear of Sojin really just goes with anything. Jeez. Gwynsu's Rage Blade with Rage Wing. Love that. Rebel Crown. Static Shiv. Pretty cool. We'll take it. Giant Slayer with the Skelecorn. Shapeshifter Soul. Let's see here. Your team counts like one additional shapeshifter. Gain a Hand of Justice. Another extremely flexible item. That's cool stuff there. Let's see. With Shimmer Scale, you're going to gain a Titan's Resolve. I love that. All right. With Swift Shot, you're going to gain a Rage Blade. I cannot wait to run Rage Blade with Swift Shots. That's going to be so much fun as well. Tempest Crown, you're going to gain a Hand of Justice. Warrior Crown, Giant Slayer. Whispers, you're going to get a Hand of Justice. Another flexible item. And that actually brings us to the very end. All right, guys, a fatty thumbs up. I would appreciate it a lot if you do take the time to subscribe. We're going to run into a lot of fun shenanigans this set. I hope you are beyond excited. I know I am. If you have any ideas on what to run, whether it's augments, champions, traits, let me know down below. And I hope you guys are excited as I am. All right. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow with more TFT action. Peace out. Ciao, ciao for now. Smell you later. Peace. Thumbs up, comment. I'm going to read everything. Peace.